How can people say that our very nature as men is toxic? You need to understand that masculinity just describes our biological traits that are inherent in us that are driven because of our hormones, because of testosterone. While yes, you can push it to an extreme and be a sexist or a chauvinist or mistreat women, being masculine is something, or an ultra masculine male is something that we should all aspire to be, because the essence of being masculine is great. Masculine men have more courage. This is the action of being able to perform or act in the face of fear. Any man that tells you he has no fears, he's lying to your face. However, the true courageous dude is the guy that can act in the face of fear. That's bravery. That's courage. So don't let anybody tell you it's toxic masculinity to act even though you're scared, or for another man to tell you to act even though you're scared and you're afraid. Even though you do feel those things, you should still act, because that's what true bravery is. That's what true courage is. That's not toxic. That's strength, which takes me to my second point. Ultra masculine men are strong. And again, this is driven biologically through testosterone. Just having higher levels of test are going to produce more muscle mass and thus make you stronger. Just being able to walk around with your chest held high, knowing that you're not some weak individual that can just be tossed around, gives you a certain amount of assertiveness, a certain amount of confidence. This is exactly why I push so much for going to the gym, picking up a combat sport. And again, this is not so you can go and pick up fights on the streets because now you're a badass. None of that. It's so you can walk around with confidence. It's also a great deterrent from petty crime. See, most criminals are smart. They attack those that look weak. If you walk around like a strong man, statistically speaking, you're going to deter a lot of petty crime. And it's mainly because you're walking around with assertiveness. See, as a man, you should never be pushed around by a woman, by another man. You should always assert your point of view, your opinion. You should always stand your ground. You should never let other men walk all over you. Again, if most men would live by these traits or encourage these traits like assertiveness, you know how much bullying would go down? How much sadness and anxiety would go down? Because as men, you would live within your purpose. You would live with what is natural to you. This is what our hormones produce. For example, for leadership. We as men are great leaders. And by the way, that doesn't mean you have to be a boss or the president of an organization. No, you could be a leader within your household. You could be a leader within your sports group, within your team, within your friend. It doesn't matter. See, the dudes that are leaders are the ones that have all the traits before me, right? Are the dudes that are able to act within fear. Are the dudes that have assertiveness. Are the dudes that are strong. Are the dudes that are opinionated. Are the dudes that have a clear path of where they're going. Naturally, people will flock towards you and follow you because most people are lost, right? Most people don't even know what they're doing with their life. But a true man, a man that's in his purpose, has vision. And that by default will give you that leadership, which ultimately brings me to number 5. You provide protection. How you treat women, especially how you treat your mom, will say everything about your character. See, as men, this is what we do. We are the ones that are outside working in the sun beaming over our heads. I used to do jobs, I tell you this all the time, I used to do jobs with my dad all the time, landscaping jobs, right? When you go out there, you see the construction workers, 99% of them are men. We're the ones that go to work, put our life at stake. We're the ones that wear ourselves out. And by the way, this is how it should be. Right? Because this is what the traits of a masculine man biologically bred, right? This is what we inherently must do. To the point that, it's so crazy that, even how we're built, right? We're stronger. Even our skin is 25% thicker than women's. Why? Because we were the hunter-gatherers. We were always the ones that were outside, putting in the work, making sure we were gathering the resources. So our women and our children were protected, they were safe, and they had everything they needed. And this is why it is, and it should be within your nature. This is not toxic to protect the woman that you're with. And by the way, obviously now hopefully you're not going to war, you're not doing most of these things, but you could still do these I call them protection habits, right? You're walking on the street, you take the side that has the most risk, right? If cars are coming this way, that's the side you take, right? You see somebody that could be potentially dangerous, that they looks like they could do something, right? You switch sides. Now you take that side. It's not that you're going to start a fight with that person. It's that if anything breaks out, the first person that's going to take a hit, the first line of defense will always be you. right? These are little, you can open doors for her. You can lead her through crowded rooms. These are little micro protection habits, which by the way, girls notice. You deploy these, forget about it, bro. You're instantly 10 times more attractive. All I'm saying is, I think toxic masculinity is a lie, and those natural masculine traits that are within us, you should embrace.